saying all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Shad, Hashem, not going into the apostles and elders and greatness as well, and Shalom and hopeful land. Alright, we're the Hebrew Israelites come every week to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom as the Bible outlines through the prophetic words in it. And right now we're in 2022, last days, you know, the beginning of the last days, the last days of the last days, however you want to put it, the year of turning up, treated through the Spirit by Apostle Tahar. Alright, and yeah, there's many things that have been, much things happening in the world right now that's needed, that's, you know, foretelling the end, right? And as it always goes, just as in the time of Noah, any time of the end, you know, the fall of civilization, people were oblivious to the inner workings of society and how certain the repercussions of certain decisions made, choices. And we're seeing it right now. Right, one that really is, you know, shows a lot. Going light on it is the exchange of Victor Boot and Brittany Griner. Right, that exchange in itself kind of shows, you know, the politics of the world. Well, when you deal with America versus Russia, which are both Edomites, right? Both black people, and they both hold the ring within control over the world. Shows you the dynamic that's going on, the dichotomy of the two. One nation leveraged having another individual in their country, right, that basically broke the law by taking, just said, fuck it, I'm going to take pounds of weed into oil. Yeah, CBD oil into Russia, and she thought nothing.
Yeah, I was exaggerating. Pound.
Yeah, bricks. Bricks and vacuum bag bricks and weed, fluffy bits, you know. But yeah, she basically had the CBD oil, and she was so, you know, I mean, if you're traveling to another country, yeah,
because it's where it's like, that's the thing with these regions where it's outlawed. Because Thailand's the example. There's an English broad. She was like, she got coerced or as her boyfriend got to try and sneak through some drugs. She's doing like 10 plus years in jail in Thailand, where you don't know what the hell's going on in them jails. Because that's what I'm like, she's in jail. You're gonna come in, it's gonna be like one of the 80s movies where it's just like Van Damme has to come in. And it's a Muay Thai competition, man. But who gets to eat that thing?
yeah. But you call it tiger knees.
Tiger, what was it? But then in Russia as well, them Russians are wild as hell. I remember when the British footballers thought they were going to be hooligans when it was in the World Cup was held in Russia.
Yeah.
Them guys were getting their heads bashed in, so getting banned. So I don't know what, like her being in jail. Nah, she's fruit. All kinds of fruit.
And this is the thing, you watch it.
Yeah, Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Yeah? It's all about now is the time where that peace is departed. Because like the brother mentioned, them basically holding Brittany Griner, that shows how strained the relationship is. Yeah, I can't even like it's and then you know, these female athletes. I mean, I watched a YouTube video talking about why women in the WNBA ain't getting paid anywhere near the NBA amounts. And it's just like, I'm like, the way they're talking, like, I can't remember if it was her or someone else. Who was someone else?
I know her.
It was a white girl.
Because I've been watching, she used to play in college, like Huskies. I know what you're talking about, because I used to.
She was talking about how
she's quite good.
like male athletes.
She's got dark hair.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like she could be good. Like,
She could still wear around what's the name? Ariana Grande. They go to her kind of salon. And then, but, you know, they're talking smack about banging up male athletes when it's, you know, anyone that's in the realm of reality knows that shit is you're having a laugh. I was even watching a video earlier talking about like trying to gas. It's like years back, like 2012 or 11. gas some woman saying she's going to be the first woman in the NFL, the men's NFL. And it was just like in a defensive position, like, bro, she would have died, bro. She would have died. Like, she would have actually just been
So you
dead.
know there's actual
Like, this man would get, them men are like 200-300, like brick shithouse ass
We're
niggas.
talking athletes, premium grade men, top tier.
Look, the speed they're moving at, how hard, like, bro, she would have died, bro.
I always think about when Reggie Bush got sacked, man. I mean, there's many, many different times when I got sacked, by different players, defensive players.
Yeah.
But that one, he was lost, man. He was winded. He was cooling on his full force, trying to, find some sense of like,
Trying to come back to
to his senses, basically.
But hey, that's why it's like, that whole aspect is, and this the thing is, it's not even like there aren't areas where women can perform what, like, go to ice skating, go to it's even watch another documentary talking about how like there's one Russian trainer, she's training very young girls to basically do like four spins in the air, and how it's like it's fucking up basically their development. And it's like shit, this is the sheer level of you need to do, the technique needed as well. But then these things are like primarily.
I think there's a guy, a new guy that just goes, a Chinese guy that's trying to do the four. He never done it. He done 4 quarters of time. There was a young white guy, I forgot where he's from. He basically performed it. It's successful. Yeah. So I guess
once you grow to a certain age, a certain like body size, it's like you can't even do it, kind of shit. So it's like.
So that's why she's training them from young, basically.
Yeah, like fucking 3, 4, 5 years old.
I don't know where I see that. It must have been.
It was on YouTube. Yeah, there's probably something like, because it was like, I remember when I saw the videos, it was blowing up at the time. Because I think it was when Winter Olympics were on, and it was saying like, oh, we've seen this new girl in the Winter Olympics who trained like what happened to the last girl that was the top girl for the world. But that's why it's like when we're talking sports, there's arenas that women can go into. It's like tennis would be the one, because it's like even Serena Williams, no one can really even like scoff at her legacy.
I mean, and in terms of what you're saying, it's entertaining.
Because it's like they're saying, the Women's World Cup. I'm like, even this World Cup was just, nothing but penalties, nothing but penalty shootouts, but it was still more entertaining to watch. That because the level of skill is still at the top. It's like top of the world players. But then you go to the women's, it's like, bro, Sunday league teams are bad.
Farmers league.
Man, where they just I got a shift. He's on for the first half, then he's got to go and his cows giving birth. But that's why them basically doing that trade with Russia shows they're not easy, they're not peace with one another. Because that really is what with them just saying like, yo.
Well, I was even going to go into the point of the political stance, because it kind of shows that they're prepared to trade someone that's fucking, for the sake of, we're talking politics, democracy. Like that exchange mark will show, it's telling of the politics of America, as opposed to the politics of Russia, and it's really setting the stage for what? For the final countdown, the final battle, fight. But because why? Like for their political stance, this is why like most, I'm going off what I see on the internet. For the most part, everyone was saying a lot of people outside of America were like, this is the most fucking retarded trade ever.
Yeah.
And you had few people that felt like that in the States, but most of them out there, they were like, because why? Because they look at their stance stems from a racial perspective. Like, you got one of ours back. Which is when the reality is that the guys are fucking wrong with you. Like you get a kind of level of like movie on this.
Showing like man was going in for decades on end.
He was basically a direct. We're talking about. Let's set the stage like this. That boot is a guy that armed any kind of like a T unit that wanted to fight against America on the West Coast, right? He would openly sell them off. Whereas Brittany Griner just plays in the WNBA.
Just played it
Like when you look at it like that, it's like on the political
scale of like what's gonna in the real world, what's gonna happen from it.
Yeah.
Like, you lose her, bro, no one cares. Bro, the WNBA wasn't making money. So like, wasn't even positive in how much it makes.
And this is the other
So like 2011, like for years, decade.
This is the other point. Now that you've made the trade, what's Brittany Griner going to tell the American Secret Service about all the things that happen in Russia? What's she going to say? Whereas Victor Boot, what's he going to say? He's a former KG, I believe. I don't know if he's KGB, but he formerly worked, he was within the military forces.
Dealing with the
Soviet Union. Like he was actually an army, he was in the army. No, I'm saying when he was younger, he was in the army. Then he developed, that's what he moved into that. As he fell down, he developed into army training because he had capabilities to basically fly anywhere in the world with access to private planes. So that was, and it's multiple languages. So he just basically had the means to get to anywhere in the world and communicate in any place where he went to. So what degree of information do you think he could come back to Russia and tell you? We're talking about a mind that, he understands collective data, intel, and he can present it to them and say, look, over in America there, this propaganda, this, that. He's been in the prison system for the past decade or so. I believe it's just over a decade, right? 2010 ago, back that thing. So basically, we're talking about a guy that really can actually benefit, Russia. He's worth every
like a shiny toy.
That's why like a lot of you Jakes, man, simple as all the fucking hell, man. You're like you're backwards, man. Shit, like if you were ruling the kingdom, it would be over the day it starts, man. Because you wouldn't understand the ramifications of making that kind of thing. You ain't even gonna watch Brittany Griner play no more, man. You probably watch her in a smoke fest.
The first
like
match, they'll probably
they'll watch it
just to make a show of it.
But I think more, what they'll probably watch is more things of what's that word?
Interviews or something.
No. Not commodities, begins with a C. Like like when you say like, you have token negro, but you also have like begins with a C. It's like it's the brown, it's right there at the tip of my tongue. But it's basically, when it's not commodity. It's like no. When someone's like they make like it's like it's like just basically they'll just take her into like smoke fest or something like that. Like smoke cocktail or something like that. It's a word, right? Those words, but I can't say it. But they'll be more interested in that fact. You got Brittany Griner on drink champs, and they should be drinking, getting drunk, chatting shit. Then it's like we're gonna have a smoke champs. Gonna sit around, smoke some weed and chat shit. And she's gonna say, the Russian motherfuckers. They'd rather see it for the comedy, comedy of it, the jest.
They just want to be entertained.
It's a word right on top of my tongue.
Hosea 8 and 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles.
Could have rolled 4 and 6. I've got down 3 points.
Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Because like you're saying, like Jake's looking at it like, we got one of us. Then everyone else is just like, it ain't even like she was just, walking down the street and got grabbed up. Like she obviously did some stupid shit and then got caught out there. So that's why it's like, as far as with who's gonna be looking at her like, it's so great, it's so rap. I was gonna get therefore in 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Since thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. But yeah, Jake is basically in a destroyed state. Because as far as for this whole situation, well, in general, when Jake are looking at what's going on in the world, they're not seeing it on any kind of deep level. You go into these, these channels, these areas where Jake congregate, like Black Twitter or whatever the hell, then what am I talking about? They don't talk about, the only time any kind of geopolitics is going to come up is when there's some niggerisms involved. That's why it's like Brittany Griner all of a sudden, this is groundbreaking news. I'm sure when Edward Snowden was out doing his media circuit, Jake went into that for shit. Still looking at it?
It's gonna irritate me. But I need to let this Brian to take my time.
Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And that's Jake. As far as with, when now we're in a time where what? It's essentially coming to where your back's going to be against the wall. As far as with these prophecies, man. If you don't know what the MOTB, you don't know if you ain't able to basically pin down what it is. We're just talking about the RFID chip, the implantable chip that we're seeing, in the mainstream news. That's something that's become a hot topic. If you basically ain't able to to identify these things, then you're gonna be caught soon. And then even being able to know what time it is. There's people where they think everything's just gonna dial back, and in the end everything's just gonna be alright. But then what? In reality, things are about to turn up.
Like the white word deals with
Man, it's still, it's irritating.
that.
I never did.
I got a couple of
What's that? It's basically like
I'm saying, bro,
I'm gonna go around, no, I'm gonna do like time starts at 6. I'm gonna go around this here for 12.
Sorry, this is from NBC News. It says a Biden admin official recently told members of Congress that Ukraine has the military capability to take back Crimea. Right? Now this is a signal of what rumors are, right? Because basically this is stirring up. When you actually read it, it says no offensive is imminent. The officials worry that a large-scale attack that threatens Russia's hold on the peninsula could push Putin to use nuclear weapons. What's that? That's a rumor of war. Alright, so we're in and amongst all the things that are going on. This is all showing the signs of what the Lord basically spoke of leading up into the time of the end. He said wars and rumors of wars. Right? So we're seeing that. We're seeing that there is in fact a war going on outside, no man is safe from. But then also what we also see, we're seeing that they also, got the rumor mill going and basically putting out the information as to where there may be a war going on over here, there may be this, there may be that. Right? And these are the signs of the times to show that we're in prophetic times. Right? Because the Lord, what did the Lord say? The angel said John the Revelator on the island of Patmos in the book of Revelation. It said the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Alright, so a testament, when you check out the word testament, it goes to the word testament. Right? Basically, making a testimony is proving. Alright? So it said the proof of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So the word of the Lord coming to pass, right? As I told you in Jeremiah 28:8, alright, prophecy. Well, that's another scripture. I believe in Jeremiah 28 it says, It's the book of Jeremiah 28 and 8. It reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. This will be the point. The prophet which prophesied for peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. So the word, when it comes to pass, that's when it will be known that the Heavenly Father has sent him. Alright? So that's going to be the foolproof. That's the test. That's the spirit of Yahweh Shai. When these words come to pass, that's when it will be known. But that's what shows the great power in a man being a prophet. Right? Why? Because they're saying things before it happens. But it's down to you whether you have the faith, the vision, right, the oil to see these things in its darkness before they come to light. Right? So that's what it is. So with all that being said, the prophecy is really going to show in the time of the end. You know what I'm saying?
Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many. And that's what the prophecy is about. Because this is a time of what? Of judgment. Essentially what? The righteous receiving the reward for their actions, those are the elect. Then what? Everyone else receives the recompense for their wickedness. And that's what that's going to take place by means of what? Nuclear fire. That's going to be the key way that this goes down. So when you're talking about prophecies, these are the prophecies that are yet to come to pass. Same thing with the mark. And then what? World War III as well.
But you even said the Lord come to bring fire. Now in the book of Luke 12 and 39, he says, I come to bring fire upon the earth, but what be I if that fire be already kindled? Because guess what? Before the Lord makes his arrival upon the earth where every eye shall see him, then move on his head. Basically, there is going to be a fire blowing because the enemy is going to come in, alright, like a flood. And basically, send upon, as he tells you in 2 Ezra 16 and 17, there should be an insurrection against them that, worship the Lord, basically. So it's going to get busy, it's going to get active before the Heavenly Father sends his Son. And that's where you're going to have certain brothers have spiritual power. Many brothers are having visions and dreams of these things coming to pass, whereby they're moving and doing things out of the movement. Now you have the Dr. Phil thing, which I'm not going to get into no progress, but I want to dwell on the fire. But he basically said, the guy said it, he had the mark in his hand, like the brain size one, and he had a bigger one in the crevice, in between the crevice of his fingers. And he said that one was a smart chip. And he said it makes him feel like he has superpowers because of the beauty, with the way it will chat. And that's really what it is, the miracles of the beast. So anyone that basically, and that's the thing, if you actually listen to the beast, then basically you're going to have what, the power just like the beast as well, like onto the beast. So when you actually, take onto it, you're going to have a form of spiritual power, right? Okay?
So Revelation 13. Let's see. So in Revelation 13 and 11, it says, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb.
And two horns like a lamb is talking about the political system. Part of it being, going back to the Roman Empire, it would have been the Flavians and the patricians, patriots. But then in this modern day, over in America, you have the what? The labor Party, you have the Democrat and the Republicans. Over here, you have the Labour Party and the Conservatives. Right?
And he spake as a dragon,
Yeah.
and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Yeah, that fire coming down from heaven is the Esau sword in its ultimate level, being out of war. You could have war here, right? But that fire goes back to, you could say the atomic bomb, but also, I believe it's the name of NATO, yeah, Yugoslavia, right?
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast.
Now this is the main thing with Esau's power structure. It's all about deception, right? Basically, he says things as to where they sound like one thing, but he's being elusive with his words because they mean something else. But he wins you off and wins you over with, using that language basically to disillusion you with the things that are going on. Like a good example is right now you have the Tory Lane versus Megan Thee Stallion. Now if you like get the boots on the ground kind of inside, you basically see that what they're saying is like, yo, it's embarrassing on her part, this, that, and other is happening. It's being exposed and she really don't have it. She's lying, right? But then if you follow the main media sources, they won't be updating you on that. They'll just be saying the little tidbits that make you seem crazy, right? Like one of the things that they said there's four different types of DNA on the gun, right, on the weapon. But if they didn't say that it was his DNA on the weapon, they say that he punched the girl Kelsey. But why ain't he being charged with assault on Chelsea? Because they're just using the language to make you buy into it, that he's abusive, this, that, and the other. But we really peel back the layers and understand what's being said and what really would happen what should happen if that did happen. If that was the case, then you would wise up. But that's Esau with his words. He's wise, man. He knows how to, catch you out with those words. Right? Gun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Psalms 10, well, less on the stuff here. Well, I'll read it first. Psalms 10, and start from verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not before his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing, and deceit, and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Yeah, going back to Esau, what? Said his deception is his power. So that's why it's like what? Under his tongue is what? Mischief and vanity. Because that's one of the key ways Esau is what? He speaks proudly, man. Says what? His enemies, he puffeth at them. And that's the image that everyone's still got stuck in their mind. Because that's how, when Esau went around basically conquering the world, that's the image he broadcast out. And it's similar with, like, you go back to the Romans, where when they were conquering, they had, their military was developed to such a level where they were going around and decimating the surrounding nation. But then what afterwards? Esau's nature as well is out on the left-hand side, man. Completely off. That's why it's, he's like now you got where essentially what you have men getting feminized, where essentially putting women in positions of authority, which is a complete shifting of the natural order of things. And that's something that Esau's pushed out, mainly in the Western world. But then you go to other parts of the world, that's not even taking root. And then as well, with what's it called? With technology, everyone's everyone's got into it. You know, everyone's got a smartphone. Everyone's out here dealing with all these different forms of technology. Esau's got, you know, computers, TVs, fridges, etc. And even talking about like biological stuff like
Biohacker.
well, I wasn't even going to that. Just like the pill, for example, these things are based. It's like the pill is what allowed women to even enter into the workforce. So all these things that basically have completely shifted how society is run from millennia, and now the impacts of that being felt. Because once you shift something so fundamental to how society is structured, it completely like throws everything into chaos, and that's something that the West is experiencing the most of. But then other nations where they've followed after, you know, you have the examples of like South Korea, of Japan, where they have declining birth rates. You know, the women don't even want to deal with the men don't want to deal with the women. Everything's all thrown into flux. That's why they've adopted a way of living, which has just thrown all that into you know, thrown everything that worked into the bin, and now it's just complete chaos.
Let me read this. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the nature of Esau Edom, right? Man of the field, as you know, alright? And what did he say about his man? He said, man of the field. Anything that Esau does is a dexterity to it, with wickedness, right? Whereas the same thing for us. Whatever we do, there's dexterity in it as well. But it's in righteousness. We're basically two sides of the coin. Esau being the bad side, right? The evil side, the wicked side, and us being the good side, the righteous side, right? So that's what it is. But the point being is that when he uses his words, he's using it to basically get a point across. He goes from triple on that.
Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. That's what we're seeing. But it's funny because everywhere you turn, more or less, people are saying, oh, there's so many problems with you know, with modern society. You know, women have got all these different problems. You know, you go to the side where the women are at. They say, I've got all these problems, this, that. Oh, you can't find a man, you can't do this. And I'm trying to do my career. You go to the men's side, they got all their issues. You go to different facets of society. They're saying there's problems, there's issues. But then, hey, that's the thing. It's, you know, that's a part of the deal that's essentially been made. Esau's set up a system in which this isn't a system set up for people to be benefited. Everyone other than those at the very top to be benefited. This is a system where it's essentially what? The top like 1%, they're gonna reap all the benefits that there are to be found. You know, you might be able to grind for a little while and go on little holidays. You might be able to get a girlfriend or a wife and settle down and have a family and whatnot. But then, after all, you're not going to enjoy all the fruits that, you know, you see advertised on TV.
Well, this is the thing. It's going to be just the line between the rich and the poor. The so-called middle class is being erased, right? There's never in the time of history has the middle class ever existed. This is another big piece of bullshit, right? There's the have and the have-nots, right? That's how it is. Everything's made in duality. Some have-nots just have more than other have-nots, basically, you know? But on the scale of it all, but it's still the have-nots because in the grand scheme of things, they don't have no food. they can't rise up and say anything. And really, those ways those ones that say the middle class are basically making ways to basically join the upper class, basically.
Because that's always what it goes down to.
Now, this is the thing though. When you deal with the CBDC, what they're doing is what you're seeing is them tactically making moves to what's the word of controlled demolition. Alright, they're taking out one floor at a time. See, like a big skyscraper that's dormant, is they're going to bring down. You're seeing them blow up each floor bit by bit until it all collapses in on itself, right? Because the CBDC really is a spin-off of cryptocurrency. It's another phase in the whole agenda dealing with the monetary system, finances, right? What they're doing now is they're presenting CBDC as a they're going to incentivize it at some point. This is why I believe, right? They're going to incentivize it at some point because they keep attacking crypto. Now they're actually starting to bring people into. I actually have an article. You know what? I want to stay on the point of the lies and the fire before I even move to that.
I was gonna say you
Yeah,
kind of
because I don't want to
just
be moving
took the point somewhere else
Yeah,
completely.
we've got a lot we can even still talk about.
Yeah.
But basically, with the CBDC, what they're presenting is an opportunity for people to basically make a way within society. Right?
Really, what crypto's been about,
But what they're doing is
they said originally it's all about
decentralized.
the bread, whatever. But then the thing that drew everyone in was Bitcoin blowing up. When it first, like 16 or something, when it had its first time came a hell of worth, that's essentially what got people into the crypto space.
But this is the thing now. Now they're saying that people are taking advantage of them in, what do they call it? Places, the exchange side, crypto basically taking advantage of them. And this is something we've seen before. If you've been following crypto as far back as what is it, BitConnect? Remember when that was a big balloon? Yeah, I think it was the biggest one back then. The brothers that lost out, people lost out on money.
It's one of those where I think they say almost everyone knows someone who lost money on Bitcoin.
Yeah, but then as time has gone on, it's like more opportunity. So people invest in some people one day, and some people have not. So now this is the time when you actually see like, okay, it's really good for footing. People are actually winning off crypto. Now they're actually bringing in legislation where to move away crypto being in existence to move to what? Centralization of digital currency. Now them doing that, they basically what they ultimately want to do is like they did in Nigeria, they want to incentivize making move conversion from crypto into digital currency. But then what, right? Whereby you just might have more than the other man, or there might be a standard that everyone gets.
And they're going to use the the so-called draw. It's the same thing with like how they're getting the MOTB, selling it like you become super human, you're going to get some super level. You're going to basically become able to control computers with your mind and whatnot. That's the appeal. So it's like with CBDC, they're going to say, okay, this makes it able to X way of moving money, you might be able to move it overseas easily, you might be able to invest in certain things, there might be tax breaks, they can incentivize you to win. Let me jump on it. It might even be people that are dealing with crypto will be like, okay, if you move into this, there's some benefit that comes from it. Like even it might be like you've got pump and dump, but then they'll buy it off for more than like it would sell on an open market now.
Let's get back to the word.
Yeah, it says Daniel 8 and 25. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall the is that? So it says, in a sense, no, in the sense of deceiving, fraud, graft, deceitfully, false, feigned, guile, subtlety, treachery.
There was a subtle creature in the garden. So this is talking to the nature of these people, right? You might have to read it again.
Yeah, and through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. So what? Deceit, subtlety, deception. Because that's the thing. It's with all these different mandates and whatnot. It seems like it's to the benefit of the people.
Really to the
It's down the line. What is it? Even now they had the fucking PPE scam. You have coming the masks and the but they went to sort out way back when. Now they're saying like, oh yeah, they did research and it was like, X amount of billion just evaporating in thin air. So it's like all these different things where it's like, oh, it's like, oh, it's okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. Even with the furlough, like free money.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like, what's the super inflation? Man, it's funny because when it was happening, talking to people, they're saying like, yeah, this is the once this has to be paid back, it's going to be wild. And it's something that's done on a global scale. It wasn't even just like one country.
Well, it was done by the insurance. Because they want to think, this is the controlled demolition of what? Finance? Well, the whole world. When we speak about, Klaus Schwab, what's the name of his agenda again?
World economic.
No, the world is what is the Great Reset. We're experiencing right now, we're in the midst of the Great Reset. This is a throwback to what the Great Depression, whereby you had a change within society. You had a different societal rules that were put in place based upon the suffering that the people were under at the time. And we're seeing that right now. As it means, as the saying goes, the Latin saying goes, order and chaos. Right? Out of order, we get chaos. Order out of chaos. So that's really what it is. They're going to bring about a new form of order, new world order, by the chaos that's going on in the world, right? And that's what we're presently seeing happen. That's why the same thing is, what the brother means, the same thing is seen in the book of Psalms. Shall iniquity shall the throne of iniquity have shall the throne of iniquity have did you read it? No. Psalm 94. Yeah, Psalm 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? Same thing. This man is mischievous. He's like a little kid. Basically, he's a little shit. That's who he is, man. A little shit that just does everything that you ain't meant to do. That's why it says a wicked and strange from the roof. And God go about speaking lies. This man has been, as he's grown age, rotten wine, right, fine wine, he's basically aged in his lies and he's mischievous. So his chickens are coming home to roost, right? We're seeing that happen within society. He shall stand up against the princes, but it shall be broken without hand.
That's the thing. All Esau's lights, all that deception. As for now, that's what people are buying into. They're looking at it like this is the reality. Whatever Esau looks to get, it's going out to what he desires to do, they're thinking it's going to be achieved. Just like when you're talking about mental biohacking, people are thinking, yeah, you're going to have cybernetic arms. They're like, oh, boy, maybe the Daily Star where they're talking about, oh, you know,
Yeah,
in the
last week.
future you're going to have like the cybernetic arms. You know, you're going to have 21 chips in your brain.
2,100.
Yeah, it could be, you know, Googling things, you just see information.
Pop up in your mind,
brain.
yeah.
That, yeah. That's what everyone's thinking, oh, that's where it's going to be eventually. And that's why Esau is what? He's the God that they look to, man. He's the light, basically, the morning star of this world. Because why?
Illuminati.
Yeah. They're looking at him like, oh, his technology is basically become, like, he's going to answer anything. Anything that's desired, it's going to answer.
Which is a salah.
No, go.
Which is just his blessing that the Heavenly Father gave him. That's all it is. That's what people are seeing. And they're so boring. But does it mean that he's not wicked? Does it mean this is a man that you should trust? Right? Definitely doesn't mean that, man. Right? It means that he's the devices, you know, as it tells you in the book of Corinthians, we're not ignorant of the same devices. It just means the devices that Satan has grown to be more complex and complicated. Right? But then you have to, you know, so-called evolve with it. You have to work through the spirit. So let me read this one. This is the book of Proverbs 6, and I'm going to read from 12 to verse 19. It says, a naughty person, a wicked man, walking with a forward mouth. Right? With a forward mouth. Right? And that's how Esau is. This guy is a demon. Because he doesn't actually show true regard to the Heavenly Father as a book, right? He shows regard to himself. So it says he winketh with his eyes, speaking with his feet, teaching with his fingers. And this is what Esau does on his TV programs, through his media, propaganda. He's basically infiltrating your mind through me covertly, alright? And that's why when you go to when you go to I bugged that. But when you go to what's the thing called media, right? You go to what was I gonna say? Proverbs 6 and 13, he winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Right? Like when you go into media, you go into films and all this different type of stuff, you basically see different things where people have their finger on their chin or they'll have one eye open or something like that. That's a signal, a message from those that are in the know. Alright? That's what it is. And that's how this man can influence those that are in the know. Alright? The part of the society, as they say, right? Forwardness is in his heart, being in his mind. He devises mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. And this is what's going to happen. This is what we're seeing within the society. But a lot of people are oblivious to it, they're blind to it. Right? Deaf as well. They can't see the foretelling of it all. It's evident. Right, this society is circled with dream. It isn't like 2019. 2019 wasn't like 2015. 2015 wasn't like 2011. 2011 wasn't like the year 2000. Right? 2000 was the year. If you just scale back through time, right? You know, you go back through the catalog of time, you basically find that this society is on a basically,
Right, like you need to just
say the plain.
I know.
Getting into my late the final 7, All right. Proverbs 6 and 16. It says, "These 6 things that doth the Lord Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood." And when you deal with this man Esau, otherwise known, reimagined as a so-called white man, pure man, when you deal with this man and his history is just blood. Killing and blood spilling. That's what that is. It's just mass death on a mass level. And that's why you have the Western world, which is the first world. Right? Why? Because all the wealth has been sucked from the third and second world to basically supplement this kingdom that we're in right now. Right? But as all good things come to an end, as they say. Because why? There's some wicked things. Yeah. Where is the end of a thing than the beginning thereat? Because the Lord is basically show his hand and basically say, yeah, the measure's been met. It's time to measure out your judgment, So it says, 18, "An heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that serves discord among brethren." And it's one of the main things that Esau's done. Him basically perpetuated the divide between the tribes, right? The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the so-called Negroes and the Spanish, right? But the best way, one of the even monks, the Benjamin, the southern kingdom, would be that of colorism, right? And basically you have light skin or fairer skin, which means desirable, and you're more, not beautiful. Whereas if you have dark skin, you're ugly and wicked and abominable. But then that's rare that is made, because the Heavenly Father himself is a dark skinned man. Having dark skin means you're rich and mellow, right? That's simply what it means. So this man has deceived the masses of the world. I'll read this again, verse 19. "A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that serves discord among brethren." So that's what Esau's got as charges against him, right? Ready? You finish reading Isaiah, right? Yeah.
Second Ezra 15 and 14 says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." That's the thing with this conflict we're going into. Like World War III, it's simply all these nations. That peace right now is something that is basically built off a bunch of relationships, similar with how it was prior to World War I, World War II, where now they're kind of, they got trade deals with one another, so they don't want to go to war. But then as those things are cut off, like Russia essentially being cut off from the global economy, being able to sell their gas and oil and whatnot, these things then result in war. So these things escalate into war. It's basically an economic war, and it's escalate further. And that's something where, in general anyway, supplying people with one another, that so-called, any form of so-called unity, that's something that's been lost, especially with the Western world. You have people talking a lot about how essentially multiculturalism has failed, which it has. You're basically bringing in a bunch of people with completely different ways of living. Then what do you get? You get one nation sticks to one place, another nation sticks to another place, another sticks to another. That's why they had that report saying
means Satan.
And then you
Santa is what's the word? Alec, not Alec, right?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. When you agree with the
Real
words.
yeah. So basically, Satan. That's what it is. He goes down climbing through the give you a gift.
You're climbing up some child's children.
Playing with children.
That's like the so-called money kissing Santa Claus. Got criminality, man.
You got me.
It says as well, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Funny, because like what Prince Andrew, he's getting anytime he's mentioned, anytime he's said somewhere, everyone's just saying like nonce. He's basically just destroying the eyes of the public. But then when we deal with when we deal with the actual royal family, he's been taken back into the fold. He's still getting all the benefits.
Well, they even Prince Charles got attacked again recently, right? Recently again, another attempt. So this just shows you that public opinion, for the most part, I mean, from what's been shown, isn't favourable with the elites over here in the UK. And this is the mother of the harlot, so it kind of shows this is the only place between here and America, right? The mother of the harlot, that basically well-favored harlot, that basically have a royal family, and they're showing no regard to them. And that's something that's going to trickle into everyone within the world. What they say as a king for his subject. So if they don't regard the rulers over here, how much are they going to, that crown ruler, how much are they going to regard someone down there that's just a senator, state official?
For instance, like the Queen, she still had there was a certain way
That was the end of the era, man.
that she still had that old school spirit. That's why if everyone was coming around, they're bowing down.
Curtsy and bowing before.
All the world leaders coming, they're just like, oh, the African, she ain't moving. They're coming, they're the ones bending the knee.
Yeah.
Then,
Chips in the ring.
now you got Charles, and Charles has been on the scene for a minute, and there's all kinds of shit being done to where that same law doesn't exist. Especially because when you go back to when
Diana?
No, the Queen Lizzie. When Lizzie was younger, you didn't have social media, you didn't have TV, you didn't.
There was a divide between different classes.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to, you wouldn't even know what she was getting up like. You didn't know shit. But now it's like, but now it's like if you have a so-called celebrity, these guys will be on Instagram Live, broadcasting their whole life.
Or tweeting in real time.
You know? You be telling them, the album is whack. You're like, fuck you. On Twitter, you're like, no. But hey, that's why now that allures go. And most people are not, anyone in the 1%, you ask the average person, how do you feel about the 1%? They'll be like, eat the rich. That's the what's the word? Eat the rich. What the hell even is it? Eat the rich.
That's the first time I'm hearing.
But they say that shit that's that ain't I'm like, eat the rich. Well, why eat them? That's the 1%. It says what? So it says, it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And yes, in that time of trouble, when it says the men shall be afraid, that lets you automatically know the women and children are going to be they're going to be decimated. Where it's like, what passes for a man now ain't to the same quality as what passed before. That's why the main thing you can go to is what the testosterone level. Where you go back like 2-3 generations, the testosterone levels are like magnitudes higher than what you have nowadays. Because of what? Because of microplastic, diet, because of various forms of technology having various impacts. You know, microwaves, cars, all kinds of waves, kind of flying way more things like forms of radiation flying around compared to before. What's the other word? Pollution. All these things have an impact to where and what. They ain't the same magnitude. Then you have the psychological warfare being done on masculinity. It's a madness. Like, that's the it's been demonized to the point where a lot of guys just think. I remember I was watching one guy's YouTube video. He said, like, yeah, when I was younger, I used to think like, you know, the fact that I was a guy and I had masculine instinct, I was thinking it was something that made me, you know, like not even worth existing over. Like even less to that extent, to where it was like he was just thinking like, damn, you know, being a man, that's just fucked. And then that's how wild shit gets. Because if the average, you know, young man, let's say, coming up now, they're not even gonna have any kind of measure for actual masculinity, how any kind of role models to model themselves after. That's
women, they basically in their emotional state, they'll be so quick to either relative say to me, I said I like to look at the masculine people. As I said, I feel offended by that. You know, I mean, it's kind of wild. It's like, why would you be offended by that? Whether you think, oh, well, that's a lot younger.
Yeah, but that's just modern society.
But I know let me put my point. No, that's what it is. So you imagine, I'm a grown man, but you imagine someone that's a peer, someone that's a contemporary, right? How are they gonna feel about it? They're gonna feel like, oh shit, I'm making you feel bad. Okay, I won't do that.
Well, it's the same thing I told you. You know, it's talking to an individual as well. And then, you know, I had a question put to me, like, it was meant to inform my character, saying like, oh, what do you think about this nigga called Andrew Tate? And I'm just like, I was laughing because I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck is he coming into the conversation? But that's where it's like, you know, he's just one guy. But then any form of like going back to traditional ideals, hey, people get on edge. Other men will get on edge, man. Where they'll just be like, no, that's insane. But then it's like, you know, anyone that's dealt with rap, because hey, there's a guy that I know. This guy's a police officer, and he's telling me it's like, bro, women are useless in majority of times of like crisis, danger, anything like that. One, because they're just too small, they ain't gonna do shit. I was like, so what the fuck do you even have?
Female police officer. Just to fulfill prophecy.
And then what about listening to Cedar Pitt, man? She's the superintendent. She's the one at the top of it. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, you know, she was to go out and have to wrestle with some random Jake that look up the strap.
Yeah, look at the strap. No, he didn't say it like that. He said it with a Rummy accent. Look at the strap.
They couldn't even get him into the car. And now you don't consider them for real female officers.
The guy was like, get in the car. Fuck this problem. Inside the door, lock. Wait, you got moving. Shit. But that's funny. Yeah, like, it was a movie. But he lost it.
But that's it's like actually it's a fantasy. So if the men are the shambles, then the women it's going to be a mess. And that's the thing. The reality is when some kind of let some guy be getting rowdy on the street, then it's women are gonna start turning to planks of wood. Man, there was someone sent me a video. I think it must have been Russia or some shit, where it's like some woman just like it was in a bar, she obviously smashed up her face, starts screaming at a guy, slaps him, and he just gives let me move back there. And she fell over, got up, and she sat on the counter. And he was just contemplating life. Because as far as it's like within that dynamic, bro, women and women are not in the element of themselves.
Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord your house created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall surpass a man.
Yeah, that's the new thing. Esau's basically codified. He's put his stamp on it of the second wave feminism. When you had women's liberation, when it came into the workplace. Really, it was World War II when all the men went off in the US, and they had the women essentially working. Then they realized, we can cash in. So they brought that down. But then once downstream of that, you now have a bunch of shit like where it was greed essentially informed it. Now everything's crumbling. But then that's why you go to. This is the thing. It's like you always said, like I have and have nots. It's two completely different styles of ways of existing. Because when you go to the elites, they don't fuck with that in the slightest. If you have the daughters out there messing around, then they'll just get cut off.
I remember there was a video I see at a dinner party, and I had a live band and a woman, a girl, she must have been a young girl, guy there. You know, if you see them tied to tuxedos, bow ties, and that kind of stuff. There was a silver fox looking Edomite. He had the microphone looking slick. And she started twerking on the stage in a ball gown, or whatever they called it. And he just just like regulated her, put her into fucking, like made her like, what the fuck are you doing? You weren't having a bar in it. Because it's different generation. Like, they don't move in that same sexual way. And they know there's a decorum that they ought to have, that all that shit she's put into, behavior, that's not meant for her to buy into that shit. Let me read this. Isaiah 32 and 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, careless women. For the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make them bare. And gird sackcloth upon the mind. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Right? So there's gonna come a day where the basically all of the treats, the goodies that they're getting in this day and age, it's gonna be finito. You ain't getting that no more. Alright? And then it's gonna be, a man shall be a idol from the women. They're gonna recognize that masculinity, which that individual you mentioned, where he said he looked at it like it was a good thing. That action hero, the last action hero, that's gonna be a real thing, man. It's going to be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. They're going to be the last superheroes or action heroes of the day, right? Because masculinity is non-existent. Right?
It's something that has a role to play. There's a reason it exists in society. Because if you had just femininity, then everything's going to be thrown out of balance. It's all out of whack. There's that there's opposites. There's what's it called? Disparity. You have masculine and feminine, the opposites. Heat and cold, light and dark. There's a reason why you have two opposing forces, because it brings something about where we combine the two. It's like if you're raising a child and then you have just the father or just the mother, there's going to be a lack. But then when you have both, they're complementing it. And then generally these things are multiplicative. It's not just like 2 plus 2, or let's do 3 plus 3. Because when you do 3 times 3, you get different results. You get more. So that's why it's like, but these are things that now, you mentioned these things, it's something that's debated. People be out here saying like, oh, having a single parent, you're doing just as well as
someone that has 2 parents.
Yeah, where it's just, common sense should tell you, right?
2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
And even the point as well, let's go back to the Bible. This is the fact of the matter. The Heavenly Father made man first, and Adam was alone. Right? He was doing the work for the Heavenly Father declared unto him. Then there came a time where it said the Lord saw that man was alone. It wasn't good for him to be alone. So what did he do? What did he do? He gave him a woman, a servant, a help me. And that was to be complementary onto what Adam. So what they say they got married in two, one flesh. So they basically married a man and woman to the perfect couple. But in this day and age, it's been made into, you know, the battle of the sexes, Mars versus Venus, which is just, it's a way for the elites in the society to basically have power over the masses.
Because then it's like the missing link between is going to be what? Government, something, you know, your relationship to society.
What can I do for my boss?
Yeah.
What can I do for my job?
Because it's going to be like the men are going to be out there just basically listless, not able to, you know, channel either fall into some form of structure or lead structure.
Have full utilization of their masculinity.
That guy might have been a captain of thousands, might have been a captain of tens, and he might have just been a soldier.
He's a warrior without a war.
Yeah.
Without a battle to fight.
But
So
then
he
what?
feels like he has to kill himself.
And then it's like, you know, I'm trying to channel that, but then you don't even know that that's something that can help. You might be trying to go for a feminine group to deal with it. It's confusion. But then it's the same as well with women. It's they're going to be like, oh, I was watching something where it's like, oh, you know, talking to women had a bunch of cats, and they'll say like, oh, you know, they're like small children. You know, it's like I'd like to have a family, but you know, I just can't have a family. Whereas, you know, there's obviously instincts there towards what you want to do, but because of how you've been raised, because basically, you know, how society is structured, you've basically not been able to fulfill what your environment wants to do. But that's a lot of what you have in today in current society, where all these natural instincts are basically being what from South Abraham.
That's the book of Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she tread it down, trodden as a mire in the streets. So there's going to come a day where this whole female women empowerment, feminism, you know, all of this shit is going to come to an end. It's going to cease to exist. And it's going to be made. And if you want to, you know, still hold on to that ideal, you're going to be making fools that, you know, even recognize your power, right? And it's going to set you straight. And that's especially for you in the tribes, right? Because you have it's not for you to go into, right? But guess what? It's that age-old coupling of Eve, you know, and the serpent, man. You know, we love his wisdom. We love okay.
No, I was just gonna say, because even with Jake, it's like they'll get into these they'll be within this system, but it's like things ain't even working out to them. They're not even benefiting them. They're not even reaping the rewards, but then it's like Macca said in Revolver, man. I want in and I want rewards. That's the thing. That's the thing with Jake. They see, you know, what can be harvested from the system. So they're thinking like, yo, I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to get. But they're thinking about going into it and getting something out of it. But then that's part of the trap.
They want to be on a speedboat in Amalfi and Postman. Guys going on some black design. What's the one? Prada's the sunglasses are in right now. The Prada sunglasses, denim shirt or silk shirt. That's a blanca. Silk shirt, you know, open, feeling the breeze. I want to do that as well. I want to sit at the table and have, you know, what's that shit? Steak tartare made fresh and front. Fucking abomination. They went with that type of shit. They went out the delicacies of life that Esau promoted to them.
And they want white women. They want this, you know. Jake Simple.
Jeremiah 2 and 43. Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also trimmed thy ways. But they trim the ways to what? They basically trim the ways to seek love. They're listening to the ways that Esau promoted in society. But then also in doing so, they've brought a new right? Yeah, Jake that basically shows you know different degrees of fertility that have never been seen before. With Jake have that, you know, within themselves. They're the form of all things. But,
Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows in the darkness. So yeah, when the times come, when that darkness comes, when that judgment comes, then what? It says even the grind is going to cease. Any means of what, you know, how you're conducting your life, that's all going to come. Good example of that was with the pandemic. Once the lockdown came in, it was like a record scratch. Someone was living at, they were like, yo, they're like, there was someone where they might have been going into, you know, the final 40 seconds of the track, there's something I'm about to sail off. Then his whole business was done, his retirement fund was done out. There was all kinds of facts. Like, there was any kind of hope that they had stopped. Prophecy, that's the same thing where it's coming to now, where there's people that have plans, they might have money in certain places, they might be thinking, okay, I'm gonna invest in this, I've got this set up, I'm gonna move into this country, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set my life up a certain kind of way. But then after, as soon as prophecy starts moving, all of that comes to an end. Yeah, I know. So I was just like, oh, you didn't say anything. Should we just
when you look at one lady in race, that's always lady, because you read tabloids, they always say tabloids. First thing is the lady in red. And that's like the waistline. You look at you always have someone that turns up this kind of comfort the occasion.
Said what? The strong men shall bow themselves. So that's, that's line. It's even when we're dealing with masculinity. Like you got guys out there where they might be, they might be living in the gym. The guy might be doing Emma, he's rolling around on the ground with other grown men for 2 to 6 hours a week. These guys, what they might seem like they've got they've got all the hormones. But if they got the truth, then when it comes to the time of judgment, they're gonna follow this as well. They ain't gonna be able to they ain't gonna be able to submission on hunger. They ain't gonna be able to, when they have to go out and get the corona, they ain't gonna be able to, to break a nigga's arm. It's gonna be a whole different set of circumstances that they're dealing with. And that's why it's like really what the man of the Lord, the average man out there, even if the guy's going out there, he seems well put together, he's got the clean suits, he's got the fresh cut, he's got the women falling off. He can do 250 push-ups in at least 50 times gravity. Traveling all day. Yeah.
Same aliens from the destruction. From the villainous force. A universal, galactic
level threat.
He was saying about the chosen man. It's Jeremiah 5:5. I will get me unto great men and will speak unto them, for they have known the way of the Lord Yahweh and the judgment of their power. But these have altogether broken the yoke of us once.
Hey, the name of the Lord, that's because the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and is safe. That's basically, you need to know the name of the Lord, you need to basically have the favor of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, basically be of the elect to make it through. Because otherwise, what? It's going to be a matter of even if you're, whatever you're trying to attain or achieve, it ain't gonna work out in your favor. Because why? You ain't gonna know what's going down. You ain't gonna be able to tell what times it is. You ain't gonna know. You might be thinking, oh, well, you're thinking, oh, we're gonna be on Mars in 2 years. Meanwhile, you don't know, like, missiles are getting ready to fly.
And that's what a lot of people. I got a couple of pieces on this point. It's the book of Psalms 34 and 7. It says, the angel of the Lord, Yahweh, campeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Alright? So basically, like he's saying about, it's going to be a moment that's going to really distinguish the men of the Lord from the general public. Right? Just the NPCs, the non-playable characters. Right? Like the Matrix. Right? You have those non-playable characters. They're controlled by Esau. Right? Maybe the non-playable characters might be Esau can't come in, the devil can't come in. But how are we going to have it? But there's going to come a time where it's going to be known, right? Who of the Lord's people. And that's why he has angels around them, because they can't be touched. So let me read this chapter. It's in Hebrews 1:1. The Most High, who has sundry times and in diverse manners, there's a point to the end. The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers of the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he hath made the worlds. Right?
Yeah. So that's why, being mystified by Esau's, sciences or by wisdom he's been given, that's something that it really shouldn't be that mystifying. Because as far as how we're dealing with this is the one who even formed those mysteries to begin with, to even be unraveled. So that's kind of puts the scale of it in, and that's why it's essentially idolatry. Because it's more or less virtually the creature more than the creation.
creation more than creation.
Yeah, it's more than creation. That basically is how it's reset. Everyone's looking at him like he's, on some super level. But then that's why Esau, he knew how to go about it. He had to take the Alba Shem and Shah out of the equation. And then afterwards make it where he can reach everything, he's the proof of everything.
Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, by upholding all things by the word of his power, where he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. So Yahweh Shai is express image. Basically, it's the only begotten of Yahweh Bar Shem Yahweh Shai. The only express, the one that looks just like the Most High power. He's his quote-unquote mini, right? And that's why it was right that he come down and basically bear all the sins of Israel and basically make way for that divide, that partition. He basically mediated the reconciling of the nation of Israel back to the Heavenly Father. Right? Verse 4, being made so much better than the angels, as he have by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, that art thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all angels of the Most High worship him. Right?
Yeah, that's a whole different break. As far as this is, again, why it's like any kind of looking at Esau like he's something special. You know, you have it completely wrong. We're talking about the hierarchy. It's what? Yahweh underneath Yahweh. See how it shines. And it's like you said, it's only begotten. So I was like, what? Everything else got put underneath it. Yeah.
And he made everything perfect. And this is why it said after the angels, it was what? He said basically, spoke of the angels, but it said even the first begotten of the Most High, the first fruits, they have to, reverence Yahushua. That shows you how great of a reverence the Lord has. Right? Because the first fruits basically had a part to play in the establishment of the foundation of the earth. Right? And the angels, we know what angels like. One angel destroy the whole earth. They got power, man. And that's why our forefather, Jacob, wrestling with an angel and wouldn't let him go. He basically gave him a blessing. He named him the Prince of God. So basically, with the Heavenly Father being the king, he's a prince. He's one of his sons. Showing you how great his power is. That angel would see that. So anyway, reading on, it says, verse 7, and of the angels it says, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire, the pure energy, fire. But unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is a scepter of thy kingdom. And that really kind of shows you the magnitude of the scepter departing from Judah. It shows you that the royal lineage, the Lord will come through that line. Alright? Because that same scepter of departing from our Lord, Yahushua, being in the fourth dimension, it held weight with Judah. And that's why Judah had the name, what? Yahweh, right? And the Lashon Kodash, which basically has the Heavenly Father is in his, the Heavenly Father's name is in his name. And when you break it down, it means what? Yahweh means Yahweh, the name of the Heavenly Father, which means he to be, or he exists, right? And Dar is a shortening of for what? Which means thank you. You even find the word Dar in this lexicon, or you find it in the lower classes actually, where they say tar as a shortening for thank you. Right? So Yahweh Dar means thank you, Yahweh. Right? And that basically shows that we're saying that with that in the spirit of things to come. Phenomenal. Right, so reading on it says in verse 9, thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore the Most High in thy power have anointed thee with the oil of gladness among thy fellows. Alright? And that's what it is. Anointing is a thing of holiness. Right? To have the oil of anointing upon you means that you've been sanctified to be one above everyone else. Right? The Lord had that. That's why he even his name, Hamashiach. Right? Being a title that's upon our Lord means what? The anointed chosen one of Israel. So I'm reading all this to get to the point. Thou hast loved, right, verse 10, and thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they all shall wax old as doth a garment, and as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, thy years shall not fail. But to which of the angels said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Same thing again, right? Yahushua has been made as a great honor in sitting on the right hand side of the Heavenly Father. That's a great honor to be a right hand man of the omnipotent, omnipresent. Right, that shows you has a great esteem in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. And this being the point, verse 14. Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them? You shall be heirs of salvation. So those same angels that Yahushua is over, they're being sent, and this shows you the greatness of the first fruits, the elect of the Heavenly Father. Now those same angels with that great power, they've been sent forth to minister for the elect. Right? So when you see the elect power, you see the elect of the Heavenly Father,
they basically have the angels ministering, bringing breakdowns, and basically saving them these days that we're in. Right? They're basically an army that have encamped around us to basically reflect all forms of wickedness away from us. Lord willing to be elect. That's the great honor that we have from Heavenly Father on high. Right? So in the midst of all these things, not only is it a thing that, on a carnal level that we're getting more from masculine traits, over the word, going through different temptations, being tempted of the Lord unto the refining of us to be worthy vessels of honor, alright? But also we have the angelic forces working with us to safeguard us from any harm. So that's why when it comes down to it, when things get on and popping, alright, on the left hand side, we got a safeguard, right, a hedge about us. Just as Satan mentioned to Job. Yes, that as well. I'll quickly read this. It's the book of Job 1 and 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth. Right? As it tells you, as Peter walking down in his epistle, what did he say? He said, Satan controlled us from the lion, the roaring lion, getting ready to be destroyed. So that's what Satan's job is. They're trying to, make it come to the world. So it says,
He's got everyone under that spot. Because I read earlier, it said, everyone wonders why you don't know why everyone doesn't move to the same successful right. First Peter 4, 3 says, For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wines, revellings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that you run with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of them. So yeah, it's the thing where it's like, if you're not engaging in all the wickedness, because why? Satan, he's tap dancing on the spine of everyone out there. That's why it's like these guys couldn't come together in wickedness. I remember it's like where I used to work, these people used to go off and smoke weed. Then it was like complete strangers would come and smoke weed together. Then these guys are all getting along. I was like, man, it's a demon thing. There's certain form of wickedness. They'll just draw people together, man. When you see these guys like someone reveling, they're going past and like weed with the horn, you go, woo! Everyone starts going, woo! As well. As well. Because they're all in that same spirit of spirit. Yeah. Messing them up. It says, so who shall give account to him that is ready to judge and put him to death? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to the measure of the flesh, but live according to the measure of the spirit. So we're not engaging with the flesh. That's because essentially those that are in that revelry, that spirit of doest thou will, they're basically engaged from what? They're dealing with Satan. Satan's all up in them. Then as far as for us, we're basically men that we're meant to be in the mindset of trying to overcome the flesh, which will only achieve to a certain degree because it's changed the darkness.
As it tells you in the book of Ephesians that every day we're basically putting away the mortal man. Day by day we're casting the blind man to the perfectness of Yahushua. So every day the idea is to get better than the last day. You're in a race, a battle with yourself. That you basically have to become better individual than you different. Right? If you ain't doing that, then basically the day you don't, you're basically passing off Yahushua. You're backwalking basically. Right? You need to keep striving forward for perfection. shall be revealed in you, and I will make you clear. Right? So let me put this to your point. That's what I'm going to quote. Lord, you didn't say the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. When you got into Noah, the time, sorry, that heat of the time.
Yeah, really good.
What did the Lord say in the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter? He said that man, basically said man is, my way shall not go with man.
Man is
Yeah. Yeah, being all these ways, man is full because man is of the flesh, basically. That's the same thing, the heart is desperately wicked, who shall know it. Proverbs 24:9, it says, the fruit of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. So, hey, this is why it says all have sinned and fallen short the glory of the Heavenly Father. Because why? Because our fruits are inherently geared towards sinful lusts and desires. That's why thank Yahweh was what are Yahweh for his son Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit. That's why that allows us to basically form a grace for us to basically be forgiven for our shortcomings, right? I was enjoying
If you love me, keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another that you may abide in heaven. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless, I will come to you. So yeah, that comfort of God, which is what the scriptures. That's it's not some it's not some you that's party.
that's fair. The main, whatever, man. It's not the comfort, man. It ain't him, and it's evident in him because things are still functioning as normal, right? Esau is still regular scheduled programming, and this man ain't nowhere to be found to comfort us. So he obviously can't be the comforter, man. If he weren't here, if he's not here, we're discomforted right now.
Yeah.
So it shows you that's the head part of the joke's on you, man. The Proverbs, the 1st chapter, I will laugh when their fears like you come upon it. Cursed be the man that trusts in man. Trust in man and see where God. That's why the Holy Spirit being a comforter is what? Is a comforting spirit that he'll be with you all the time, man. Consider my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect man and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil. Then Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Hast thou not made an hedge about him and about his house? And about all that you have on every side, thou bless the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that you have, and it will curse be to thy face. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord Yahweh. There's so much in that, man. Like the first point being is that what? The Heavenly Father said, hey, angels, they camped angels around Job and his family, and all of his house and possession. So that shows you that what? When a man is righteous and good, the Heavenly Father has a hedge around about him to basically protect him from all forms of wickedness, right? But even more so, the story of Job, how it unfolds, that basically Satan said it was ignored. Because why? Because of that hedge. He said he was righteous because of the hedge, but not that if the hedge wasn't there, he wouldn't be righteous. But it showed that what? Save him having that hedge, he was righteous anyway. It was inherited. So it shows you that it's hand in glove. A righteous man has a righteous head around it, hedge around it, because it's one and the it's one and the same.
It feeds back in on itself.
Yeah.
If you're not conducting yourself righteously, then
That's
you're going to be open to the
That's it.
enemy. And that's literally you can see, because even with, it's like Jacob, but if you know, they're striving for trying to keep to the covenant, trying to, you know, basically fulfill the job that's been left to them, then you get a certain amount of rewards. But then Jacob and stuff in the world, they're just open to the elements. They can fall into any kind of philosophy. They'll get all kinds of elements. Jacob's getting black.
They said it was let's close up. I can't really get it. If you got scripture, something. What you want to do. Actually, alright then, man. You know, with that, pray with edified. With that, man, say we praise to Yahweh, Bar Shem, Yahweh Shai, Bar Shem, Yahweh Double honors to the apostles and elders of great most on the whole world. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Should have said earlier.
Yeah. No, I left